Now, I believe I have to make a very urgent clarification, because after my last very controversial video, a lot of you are now very disappointed in me. Some of you are saying, oh, Chris, now you have joined Jubilee. Oh, Chris, now you're a Uhuru Kenyatta supporter, etc., etc. This is my true position. I am still the same Chris Kumekucha. Neutral, yeah. Analyzing Kenyan political scene without fear or favor, and generally getting information that in many instances is difficult to get anywhere else. I fully support the president in his bid to kill the impunity monster, yeah, just like anybody else who loves the country Kenya should be doing, in my view. I have not joined Jubilee Party. I have not. I am not a political supporter of President Uhuru Kenyatta. All I'm doing is supporting the very noble cause of slaying the impunity monster in Kenya. This mission cuts right across party lines. It cuts across political inclination. Yeah, it includes everybody. Because the truth is, this impunity monster has had a devastating effect on all of us. Folks, that is a very sincere proclamation of my position. Now, having said that, I don't mind criticism. I don't mind people who usually agree with me suddenly saying, no, today I don't agree with you, Chris. I absolutely don't mind. I will not get angry and call you a traitor, msaliti. Never ever. The love and respect I have for you, yeah, as a regular on this channel, remains the same. Folks, we're not robots. We don't all have to agree. We don't all have to see something from exactly precisely the same point of view. So please, feel free to vent, yeah, to air your honest views on that video and indeed all the other videos I make on this channel. According to me, that is heated debate, and any kind of debate is very healthy. As long as it's not abusive, as long as people are not debating with their fists, yeah, it is healthy. Now, in my long experience doing what I do here, yeah, I've learned one thing. It is not all the time that you get to be proved right straight away. And that is why it's very important, and I'm always careful to do that on this channel, to do things that will stand the test of time. I've said what I've said. You've made your comments. 10 years from now, yeah, even if we're not around, somebody will take in both and they'll make their own independent view on it. Of course, that time, they'll have the benefit of hindsight. Things will be clearer. But the key thing is that even if, assuming I'm around then, I'll not be ashamed of what I did. Because what I did, I do something that I know will stand the test of time. I do my research. Believe me, I do a lot of research. You know, recently I had a recording on this channel where something I had posted on the Kumekucha blog, yeah, which was rubbished by a lot of people, was proved correct 9 years later. A man called Salim Lone fled the country. I did my research and I posted this guy has fled the country. And the man himself denied it. He said, no way, that is propaganda. And some of my readers then were not happy. Indeed, they were livid. Chris, I've always said you cook up things. Now, this is the perfect example of you cooking, inventing things which are not there. Because the man himself has denied it. And we respect the man. You, Chris Kumekucha, who are you? Well, 9 years later, the man was writing a column, yeah, and he forgot he denied, and he confessed in the column. He said 9 years ago, when I had fled the country, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm very serious. I take what I do very seriously. Yeah, very, very seriously. Anyway, on to the topic for this video. Weston Hotel, which has been linked to DP William Ruto, is scheduled for demolition. And we have this information from an authority. And that authority is the Nairobi governor, Mike Sonko. This is exactly what he said. He said even Weston Hotel will not be spared as long as it has been built on public land. Now, there's overwhelming evidence that where that nice hotel stands today is public land. It is public land which ceased to be public land under very suspicious circumstances, under circumstances that are not legal. Now, this is getting super confusing because we all know that Mike Sonko is one of the staunchest supporters of DP William Ruto. What is really going on here? Yeah, we shall answer that question and more immediately after the brief piece of information that's coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, records show, even if you do your own very quick research, show clearly that the land on which Weston Hotel was built on is public land. There is documentary evidence, overwhelming documentary evidence, from several high-level government officials putting it in black and white, putting it in writing that that land was public land. And there's more. They added that the land needs to be protected. More than one senior public official is on record for having done exactly that. Now, the reason why I've done this recording, this particular video, is to show you something very dangerous and alarming that is rapidly developing here. Something which is not good. Something which is dangerous. It is extremely painful to see your investment worth millions, hundreds of millions of Kenyan shillings being brought down by a bulldozer. It is extremely painful. Remember also that there are people who have been caught up with these demolition manenos who were not the constructors, who are not the developers of the land initially. These are people who purchased. Either they purchased apartments, they purchased floors on the completed buildings. Now, it would be even much more painful if these people realized that the demolition of buildings built on riparian land is selective. It would be 100 times more painful than just the initial demolition. Now, as I've always said on this channel, doing the right thing is not easy. Doing the right thing will always cost you a lot. And our president is doing the right thing. There is absolutely no doubt about that. However, the key rule of thumb should be the following. Bring down all buildings, all, without fail, all, which are situated in, which were built in riparian areas. Or bring down zero, bring down none. Either bring down all of them, or don't bring down a single one. If you ignore this very important rule, you'll find yourself running into all kinds of problems, including legal ones. We also know that people go into politics to protect themselves, to protect their property. This has been happening since the beginning of the country called Kenya. And people have never really understood very clearly what it means going into politics to protect your wealth. But now we have a classic example right before our very eyes. Something good is happening in the country. Impunity is being fought. But since you're a member of the political class and a powerful politician at that, you have it in your power to ensure that an exception is made concerning your private investment. Yes, this investment is on public land, but by virtue of your position and your influence, you're able to stop this demolition happening on your private property. Now your neighbors and other adjacent properties, even in other areas who are not in politics, will not be able to do the same. And this was the main gist of the president's very emotional speech at the Faith Evangelical Ministries Church, that we should all pursue a Kenya where influence does not matter, where who you know does not matter, where how much money you have does not matter. Indeed, where all of us are under the same law equal, irrespective of our station in life. Bottom line, the litmus test has come very quickly. The test to prove whether it's really true that this fight against corruption, this fight against impunity, is not selective. We are all rooting for the president to keep on doing the right thing, to keep on fighting impunity, not to stop, not to relent. And this, my friends, is a watershed moment. Indeed, the decision here will change everything. Either way, and I've been on social media and I see the pressure, on the president to do what he must do is mounting. Never again should it be necessary for somebody to go into politics to protect their wealth or to protect themselves. That must be the message, clear and loud. Now this is Kenya and we know how things work. So one would think that there's a high possibility that a battery of experts will come out of the woodwork and present a theory to us as to why this land, where this beautiful hotel is built on, is not public land. However, in this case, hawana bahati. Translation, they've run out of luck in this instance, because it is extremely obvious that this land is public land. It is very close to the Wilson Airport. It is right next to a school. Indeed, it was part of a school once. The long and short of what I'm saying is that there are too many factors screaming very loudly, public land. That is assuming that one ignores all the other documentary evidence proving the same. So the big question here, is that Kenyans are asking, what is going to happen next? Indeed, Kenyans are waiting with bated breath to see the next developments surrounding this very controversial issue. Indeed, surrounding a hotel, which a political bigwig in the country has confessed they have shares, substantial shares and ownership. Now, before I go, and as promised, we need to answer the question, why was it Sonko who came out with this statement? Well, for starters, it's because he's the governor of Nairobi County, where the particular case is domiciled, so he cannot run away from it. However, one cannot help asking, is there a problem that has developed between Governor Mike Sonko, once a very staunch supporter of DP William Ruto? Is there a problem that has developed between the governor and the deputy president? Is their closeness still the same as it was before? Because one would have thought that if they're still close, the governor would have remained mum on that issue. It is the prerogative of a public servant, who has been cornered or is under pressure to say the following: I have no comment at this time. My office is working on it, and I will get back to you once I have more information on this. Under these circumstances, it is fairly safe for us to say something has definitely changed as far as that relationship is concerned between the Nairobi governor and the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And if this is true, we know that this will be played out in the open before too long. It'll become obvious before too long. Gosh, things are changing very rapidly in our country. Fluid does not quite cut it to describe the way things are shifting and changing politically in our country. Wah, 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 wah. Anyway, until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.